Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of May 23rd, 2019. A motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yeah.
You were not here.
Okay, see?
Commissioner Lund?
Aye.
Uh-oh, my pen exploded.
Figured.
Okay, Commissioner's Office will report on the items approved. Oh, yeah, Jerry? Yep.
Okay, on May 28th, I approved for transit hiring Cornelius Scheid to the position of part-time driver to be effective June 3rd, 2019 at the rate of $14.54 per hour with 1 year probationary period. The offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. And on May 29th, the Department on Aging approved the hiring of Dana Dussing to the position of part-time adult day services aide to be effective June 10th at the rate of $10.81 per hour with 1 year probationary period, and the offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions.
Okay. Very good. Adrian, how are you this morning?
Doing pretty good. How
Good.
are you all?
Good, good.
Awesome. Just a short little thing on the financials today. We have a purchase order from Aging to Dean Supply for new and replacement equipment at various county senior centers. Travel request from the Common Police Court to attend the OCPJA 2019 Summer Conference. Among the vouchers are $107,956.91 from the Commissioner's Office to the Geauga County Airport Authority for pay requests on the runway lighting and obstruction removal projects. $33,109.50 from the Clerk of Courts and Common Pleas to Courtview Justice Solutions for their annual service and maintenance contracts on the case management system, and $97,525 from the Engineer's Office to Roniak Paving for the asphalt resurfacing of Section D of Munn Road.
So where are we at with the airport payments? Is that, is this the first or second payment?
No,
This is actually
this was
the-
payment number 6.
Yeah,
Six?
for the runway
Yeah.
lighting project.
Yeah.
It's only the first one for the obstruction removal. So
Okay.
Yeah, from the lighting project, they've got half of it done, I believe, after talking with Rick last time.
And so that money, I mean, the majority of it is grant money that we get in, right? To
Yeah,
pay
we're
for
just a
that?
pass-through
Yeah.
agency primarily.
And how much, what is that in total, do you know?
I can get you the totals on the project. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly what they are from when they were originally passed. The runway lighting project's been going on for a little while now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we do it every,
Yeah, we're well under our planned 25,000 in local county match for the year.
oh, yeah.
So as far as our regular projects are.
No, I mean, it's a good deal for the county. I mean, you know, considering the match, what we put in and what we get back.
Right.
But I was just curious, you know, I feel like we've been doing this for the last 3 years, this project. I mean, is there any end to it, or is this just keep on going?
I think, I'm not sure about the halfway.
Yeah, I think they're beyond the halfway point.
Right.
I'll talk to Rick again, but last time I talked to him, I think they just had the one side of the runway still to finish.
Oh, really? Okay.
He has an update that I forward to you guys about where they were at.
Yeah.
Weather is a deterrent
Right,
on
their biggest thing
the
is
project right now, so.
The weather, and then they're dealing with an active airport, so.
I see.
Gotta pull, and they've got somebody coming in, they gotta move the equipment away from the runway so this person can land or take off.
Okay.
And so it's not a matter of just going in and running and getting it done. There's a lot of things
Right.
that they keep running.
I was just curious, you know, what the total dollar amount.
It does
for this-
seem to be a long period of time though, because.
Yeah.
I can get you
you.
updated numbers and let you know after session.
That'd be great. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Okay, motion to approve the financials, please.
So move. Second?
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lund?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
Okay, Dr. Contempo from Auburn Career Center's here today. How are you this morning?
Good. Good morning.
Good, good.
I have some handouts for you. If you don't
Thank you.
give you yours.
We appreciate you coming in and
Yeah, I
just
appreciate
present
the
a
opportunity.
little bit of information on the happenings of
Sure.
the Career Center and some of the changes there, and
I have handouts. I'm not like a good teacher. I didn't bring enough of them.
Yeah.
So, but if anybody's interested in what I'm going to share with everyone, I'll leave them here. But I had a similar conversation at the Lake County Commissioners, just a quick
Great.
little update. So
I
I'll just take
appreciate
a couple
that.
minutes just to tell you what's going on.
Yep.
Because I think the work that we do is really important for the
Absolutely.
economic development of our county. So I think it's important to share and make everybody aware. But
And you know Dave Favorite? Have you met Dave
Sure,
Favorite?
I know
Yes,
Dave.
okay,
Yeah,
good.
right.
Good, good.
So what you have in front of you are two documents. The tall, thin one, the red one, is our high school program document, and then the yellow one is what we call our adult programming. So Auburn Career Center really runs two separate schools. It's a high school opportunity primarily for juniors and seniors, but we also do sophomore, a 2-year program that's sophomores can begin. And then we run an adult program, which is called the Ohio Technical College. It is not a community college, it's a certificate granting school. And we have 25 different programs that we run for adults, 23 for high school students. This past year we had our first year of criminal justice that we started at the high school, and we have seats for 20 students. That serves both Lake and Geauga County, and in Geauga County you have 5 school districts: Kenston, Cardinal, Berkshire, Chardon, and Newberry that send to Auburn. West Geauga actually is in a group with Mayfield and in the eastern part of Geauga County. But those students, there are 20 seats in each program. Criminal justice, the one I just mentioned, was the new one.
Yep.
We had 70 students sign up this past year for 20 seats. And then next year, that'll be again, that's full. We have a nice problem, which is we've experienced for 3 years in a row the largest enrollment in school history. And so the nice problem is a lot of students want to learn a skill and a trade before they move on, whether it's to college or the workplace. So we want to provide that opportunity. But in the handout, you'll see, even if you just flip to the second page, is the programs that we list. We also note in there the college credits that are available, because often people think that it's, gee, do I go to the Career Center or do I have a path to something, to college perhaps, or the military? But it's not that, it's both opportunities. Just for example, advanced manufacturing,
Yep.
you can get up to 18 college credits before you graduate from high school. And if you go through the list, all but one, I believe, well, all but one right now, you can earn college credits. So it's a great opportunity. I think that's one of the things that families are recognizing, is that it is a really good option for folks,
Yeah.
for families. So if you do want to go in either direction on your path in your life, you can, there's on and off ramps, as we all know in life, and this gives you
Yeah,
several options.
and just make a quick comment on advanced manufacturing. I'm familiar with that program, and my family business, my Swagelock, has been a longtime supporter of Auburn Career Center and Tri-C. They have a similar program, but this has been the best avenue to get. And I think a lot of youngsters coming up today don't see a career path in manufacturing, which is kind of sad to say, but I think it's coming back. But
Right.
this is a good way to enter into that, and this has been a fantastic program. And I know Auburn Career Center has been on the cutting edge of that technology and reinvesting back into that. So
Right, and the Swagelock has been really good too.
absolutely,
Career Center, so we
and
appreciate
providing equipment there, for-
equipment and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
hiring students and
Yeah.
and all those, and being involved with because every program has to have an advisory committee.
Yeah.
And so businesses that that we train for, we encourage people to be
That's
involved. So
excellent.
it keeps us current with what's going on out in the field, to make sure we have the right training and the right equipment in front of students, so when they graduate.
What are the, not to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but I'm just curious, what are the numbers like for that?
So
Right now.
so we have 400 students right now that signed up to come. It varies up and
Yeah.
down, but about 400 for next school year,
Mhm.
which puts us at about 93% capacity. And so, but what we do, so right now we're going through an exercise what's happening is that everybody's saying we need more of those really good kids.
Yeah.
But we're out of space. So we're trying to determine where the other opportunities for us to provide training.
I see.
And so we can get creative. Some programs are just too expensive to duplicate somewhere else. You can't put another machine
Right,
shop
right.
somewhere else, and you need
The
you need
the
an awful lot of
infrastructure
money.
is too much, yeah.
But what are the other things that we can do that are in that pathway that we could get students trained initially at the high school level? Because as everybody knows, for this example, the shop classes are slowly faded away. So
Right.
what can we do to help encourage school districts to introduce those type of entry-level training opportunities? Because then, when they do come to us, they really know exactly, that's what I want to do. I want to be a welder, I want to be
Get
a,
into trades.
and I want to be a trade, I
Run
want to be a
CNC
carpenter.
or Pumas or whatever. yeah.
Right, and so, for us, it's about, because it's experiences help everybody make the best decision. So the more experiences we can put in front of young people, the better choices they'll
Let
make.
me ask you, why did, what happened from, say the 90s till now? Where did the
Well, so-
vocational schools go, and why didn't?
I was a high school principal at Willoughby South before I started working in Lake County and then to Auburn. And during that time in the late 90s, early 2000s, the universities stopped offering it as a teacher license. And so we, as teachers retired with, from those areas, you couldn't find replacements. At the same time, the state of Ohio was increasing the academic requirements from, 3 classes of science to 4, as an example. But, so the academic rigor and the course requirements increased, so there are less opportunities for electives. And so what we're trying to do is bring back the idea that, take a look at these as options. And so we are having, and I believe what's happened, well, I know what's happened is that families recognize that there's value in taking a look at these opportunities. So, and the other thing that's really unique is that, in that white handout, which is as I said, the adult programs, is that we're looking to see where strategically there are opportunities and there's pockets of workforce need in various parts of the region where there might be a classroom that we could set up in a particular community. Maybe utilize some of the high school space in the evening or community center where we can run a class that really serves that particular region. So we're actually going through a huge workforce analysis right now. So next fall we'll be rolling out some more information, which I'd be happy to share with anybody who's interested. Come back here and share it with you.
And you'll also help with job placement too, right? I mean.
So our goal is to get every student
Yeah.
their second year, or seniors, most of them, in an internship before they graduate. And so we actually had a signing day for every kid.
Yeah.
And, for us, it's all about helping them make the right pathway choice. It's not pushing them into one area or the other. It's that, if this is something you like to do, here are your options. And that's why the college credits are so important, is that you can earn college credit if that's the route you want to go.
Yeah.
But if it's not the route you want to
You
go,
can explore
you're going to be the
yeah.
best trained student in that area possible, and we're going to help you make a connection with business. And quite frankly, we have what's
fantastic.
called a reverse job fair in the spring,
I saw that.
where businesses come to us, and it's just fascinating to watch. And you go to the machine shop, for example,
Mhm.
and there's 5 companies huddled around one student
Yeah.
who's doing a demonstration.
Great.
It's
They're
like
like-
it's like the NFL draft. Everybody's
They're-
trying to line up and grab
Yeah.
these talents.
I mean, that's
so the nice
fantastic.
thing is we're preparing them well. Then immediately it's like, gee, I wish we could do 3 times as many. But those are some of the limitations that we have. So we're trying to get creative in how we offer those opportunities.
Looking back on it, I mean, although I did have quite a fun 5 years of college,
Or 6.
I probably should have done, maybe 5.5.
You're good.
Yeah. I should have gotten into something like that, just going right to it, get to work,
Right.
But,
But and then the other, I don't know if I mentioned, but I did mention we had a criminal justice, which is another, those programs. So we serve the IT industry and
Right.
the healthcare industry. So, as I said, I have handouts. I'm sorry to pass them all off, but if it's all right, looks like there might be a question or two.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've got when I was going to school in the 60s, we had chef. As you know.
Right, sure.
And it was skills that I took away, and even though I went to college and got a degree and so on and so forth. Those were skills that I learned that are very valuable. And I'm seeing, what I'm hearing you say is that there's maybe a tilt back toward technical education for kids to be able to do welding and so on and so
Sure.
forth. And I know there are companies begging for people. Lincoln's Electric set up your lab, I believe,
they did.
the welding lab.
About
And I
5
think
years
there's
ago.
companies probably willing to do similar things, and I don't know if there's a conversation, there should be, I think, in getting that kind of technology or that kind of education back in the schools to let kids touch that, see if that's the direction they'd like to go, and kind of more integrate college with the technical side. Because I think that there's a good marriage there. And so is there any discussion about that? If not.
No, it's exactly what's happening is that it used to be that, like technology, IT, for example, and that whole area. Well, what's happened is that technology is in every program. And so instead of it being something separate, it becomes part of manufacturing, let's say, or healthcare. And so we're finding more integration in that. And so part of what we anticipate is that, the workforce in healthcare is, as an example, is a massive need. We could put a program in every high school and throughout the region and still have, there'd be more demand for it. But, so to your point is, that's exactly why we're going through this exercise, to make sure that we identify where our needs are. And then the business partners who are with us that are our advisory committee is exactly what they're telling us. So we're hearing them out.
Yeah, good. Are we getting any help from the state?
We get a little bit, not much.
So, well, let's talk. I may be
Okay.
able to help you in the future.
Good. Yes, sir.
We definitely want to be a part of that workforce analysis
Sure.
with you, and I'll come back to you and introduce you to some folks who are helping us with the broader analysis of the
Okay.
county, so perfect timing.
Yeah, we're real close to having it ready. By the fall, it'll be ready to roll out, so I'll bring you in and show you what we have, and we'll share it with everybody.
So can I
Yes,
ask
sir.
you a question? So how do you get the funding? Can you explain like the levels of funding and how are you guys supported monetarily there?
So we are a public school, just like any other school district. And so we have 11 school districts that feed the Auburn Career Center. So it's all inside millage.
Okay.
There was efforts a couple of years ago before I came on board to go out to the voters. And if you remember that, it was probably 4.5 years ago.
Right.
It wasn't successful. But we did some restructuring. We were able to do it without going to the voters. Doesn't mean it won't be at some point, but right now we're doing okay. But what we are in, what we do need is support from businesses when we see a high demand in an area. So, for example, we started a foundation because we had some outreach by some businesses that said we'd like to help because the adult side is all tuition based. And so how do we, the businesses were saying, gee, we need people in the workforce, and we offer scholarships to help these folks get trained and then obviously increase the numbers in the workforce. So those are, that's just in its infant stage, just getting that, the first year of the foundation.
So all the schools that participate, then they pay a certain portion of their tax levies?
I guess that's the inside millage, yes. So it comes
Okay.
to us that there hasn't been a vote on it, it's the inside millage.
So every school district.
There's a little
takes
bit
some
coming
to-
from each of those 11 to fund what we do.
So do you run into a situation where it's enough or not enough?
So it's limited. So the design that we have right now is we have 23 programs. And so it's enough for us to operate what we have currently, assuming that there's no changes in.
Because I think what's interesting is, and this is, we get called on the carpet all the time on this because, I think just a lot of people think that we're the ones putting school levies on the ballots and we're not. It's
Right.
something that the schools do themselves. But the biggest complaint that we always hear is attendance is continually going down, or enrollment, it is
Right.
going down in the schools, and there's, a need for, so much more money. And what's interesting with this program, listening to you is a program like this is going up, and more interest is there, that almost, where should the dollars shift to say, listen, we've got, a golden egg that's hatching here, let's put the resources towards this, and just, at the end of the day, anybody you talk to, in these companies can't find qualified help, you know, and there's a need. So it's almost like, you know, I think that, and it's always hard when you have all the different conglomerations of, you know, districts and you know, too many chiefs and not enough Indians, that it's probably hard to, you know, to be able to do that. But I think that you guys, I mean, everything that I've ever heard with the Auburn Career Center has been always, you know, great. And I could tell, I mean, looking at these programs, it's like realistic education.
Right.
And it's nice.
Well, I appreciate it. We try to make those adult programs shorter too, so it's not multi-year, it's a year or less in many cases.
Yeah.
They're 3-4 month programs, so you can learn a little bit, get employed or better
Yeah.
employment, and then come back and get more training, so it makes it affordable. So the school districts are really cooperative. I mean, they recognize it, and they, how do we do more of this? How can we get some more of this maybe in our school? And some of we look at the Auburn Career Center as the place for the really expensive programs.
Right.
To house them because they're regional. You can't, like I said, you can't put a machine shop or a welding shop in every school, but there are some ways that you can do some things creatively, and so we're working on that part.
And I won't take any more of your time, but one of the things that I just had a meeting last week with 2 of the board members from Developmental Disabilities at the Metzenbaum Center, and they do have a full workshop there that's available, and also, you know, their facility, but, you know, would be as far as like where the physical location is of Auburn Career Center and where the, you know, Metzenbaum Center is if there would be some form of cooperation. And
That'd be awesome.
to be honest with you, I'll reach
Perfect
out
location.
to one of the people there that I, you know, got a good relationship with on the board, and I'll let him know that, you know, this too, and possibly
Sure.
reach out. You don't happen to have one of your cards?
I knew you were
with
going to ask me that.
Okay, no problem. That's
did
not a
bring
problem.
any
Not a problem.
I think we have your email.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So, but that would be something also. And then the only other thing was why is West Geauga not involved? Like how did that happen?
So every school district has to be connected to a career. You have to have a career center option relationship. And so there's really 3 ways you can do it. One of them is career center. By the way, Auburn was the first one in the state of Ohio developed in 1965 and by the Lake County Board of Education.
Right.
And as districts were added, that's where Geauga County districts started to join. So there's the school district model, which is what we are. There's the consortium model, which is schools, high schools, run the programs in their own schools
Yeah.
as a consortium.
Like West used to have a fantastic vocational, right, back in the day.
So they're part of the group that's called XL Tech, which is Mayfield and some other schools,
Okay.
and I believe Brush and some others. So they actually run programs, like one district will run a nursing program, and the kids they'll send students to that location. And so instead of having a separate school, they share it. So districts had to make a choice at some point, and evidently this is way before all of us. That happened back in I'm guessing probably sometime in the late 60s. The decision was made along those lines. But I don't know specifics. But the third option is if your school district is big enough, you can do your own. And so there was a time, you know, Willoughby Tech in Lake County used to be their own tech center. And so they're in a group now that, you know, Willoughby was at one time with Wycliffe and Euclid and Mentor. And they've since changed that. But again, there was another option. If you were big enough, you can do your own. Like Cleveland has their own tech program.
So could a student that goes to West Geauga, could they like open enroll into your program or no?
Well, open enrollment is an option. There's all kinds of
Right.
details related to it. But open enrollment is an option.
Okay.
That's great.
And I don't know if you know this, but Jim was an instructor
Yeah, I was an instructor in the 80s for 9 years
for 9 years.
through Auburn Career Center with Masonry.
Yeah.
So it worked out well. We did a lot of Tom Schultz. I worked a lot with
Right.
him. I had some welding programs for
Yeah.
our workers, our apprentices. Everything worked out real well. I like the outreach with the businesses in Geauga County, finding out their needs. But with the expansion of Great Lakes Cheese, the next 4 years, they're going to need some qualified workers to run their machines, which is a lot computerized. So the transition from an average, blue collar line person to what they're doing, I mean, is there collaboration or communication with you and them?
We have, from the beginning of that project, We've had that dialogue about it. And they also are going to be, they have a high demand for specific welders because it's stainless steel. In the refrigeration industry, you have to, it's all stainless steel. So welders and anything related to the transportation, the trucking industry, diesel mechanics, just because they're doubling the number of trucks that are going to be in and out of there. So yeah, we've had that conversation. That's a huge undertaking. But right, it's a big demand. So
Great.
Which is part of the conversation about how do we do some things that might be specific to a particular part of. Because if you look at the spread of what goes on at Auburn and the students we serve from Madison to Paynesville to Fairport Harbor and then the districts in Geauga, there's a lot of different needs, and trying to balance that, it doesn't always fit neatly into one centralized location, which is why we're taking a look at some other opportunities. So, I appreciate the feedback.
And just touch it real quick on your relationship with Berkshire Schools. What are you going to be doing there?
So, so they've, they're going through that process of
Yeah.
determining what they're going to do. So Auburn's at the table,
Yeah.
trying to decide
Okay.
again, how.
I mean,
how we best-
they've made it sound like you're going to be a partner in the school there, like sitting part of the school.
Yeah, so we haven't, there hasn't been any determination of what it is.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's part of what I've shared is about us trying to find out where their specific
I gotcha.
needs are and how we might be able to help.
Okay.
And so one of the conversations, the nursing program, with the hospital and, how does that fit and what's our role and all that.
Okay.
So we're in the
So
early
they
stages.
haven't really finalized any
identified
of that. That was, I mean, it sounded like it was a done deal. A lot of these things they were working on, but
Well, I think that what is happening is the collaboration is there.
Okay.
It's just a matter of trying to figure out where the
Yeah.
right fits are. So,
right.
yeah.
So I don't know all the details of like the Berkshire school, but what's going to happen with the high school there, as far as the transportation always becomes a challenge too with students, but what if there was an opportunity to possibly take over the current Berkshire school once the new school is built, to have another division of your career center there?
I'm
Has
not
that been a
sure.
discussion,
No,
or-
we haven't talked at all about that facility. I'm not, I haven't been involved with any of their discussion what they're going to do with that property. to be
Okay.
honest with you. So,
Right.
yeah. I'm not sure the condition of the property or anything yet, but,
No, I mean, we'll
No, I hear what
support you
you're
any
saying,
way
though,
you
but
can. I
sure.
just always try to think, 4 or 5 steps ahead to say,
Right.
you've got a facility that's centrally located too, and I'm just trying to think out, out ahead here of saying, I think that this is really what I'm not taking away from just the general knowledge of, the ABCs of high school and elementary school, but, this is stuff that our country is really struggling as a whole to have, and I think that needs to be a refocus on priorities, and this stuff here, I tip my hat to you guys 100% of what you're doing and the care that you guys have for the kids, and you always hear it from everybody that has experienced it, that it's a great place and a great program, but it would be nice to just see some support to continue to keep you guys growing and moving in that direction.
that's the plan, is to keep growing. So we're doing everything we can to meet that need for our community. So,
Okay.
and I'm happy to any contacts that you can help us
Yeah.
facilitate. Glad to explore.
I will reach out to DD actually today, and I'll just at least, put
Yeah,
the
it's a
two
great
people
location.
together, so.
Yeah.
I might have.
It's no problem. I'll
came
give-
unprepared.
No worries. I'll call them and give them your information. It's not a problem.
Just an option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah,
No, thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Yep, that's great. Thanks, Brian. Okay, moving along, item number 5. Sheriff Hildebrand.
Hey, good morning.
So, busy day yesterday, huh? Yeah, sad. So everything's settled and done and,
Well,
yeah,
it's tough finding everything.
yeah.
But, they said FAA takes, up to a year before they come up with it.
Determination, yeah. So is the State Highway Patrol, are they a part of that then too?
They're in charge of the aircraft.
Aircraft, yeah.
Crashes,
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys being out there. So how did the drones work? I know you were having some problems with the weather, right?
Well, the problem is it was so, the cloud deck and the fog was so low that, you know, we couldn't get any helicopters, and even the drones were having trouble. They're okay, like if it's at night, but that fog is so thick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've tried them with the smoke, and it'll go through smoke all right, but that fog is so thick that it starts reflecting off, and
It doesn't know where it's at or something?
we had a
Yeah.
tough time with that. But
No kidding.
once it cleared, but the problem was that from the air, the hole in the woods was very small.
Just,
You really didn't notice. The way they noticed it was that one of the drones saw something, they thought it was orange, and kind of zoomed in on it. What it was a tree that was split open. And so they zoomed in, they saw one or two little parts, so then
No
the
kidding.
guys in the ground that moved in.
did you guys originally think you went in the lake?
Well, that was the first report,
Yeah.
yeah. But, you know, that's pretty difficult to search.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big, yeah.
But then once they got the coordinates and down, and then the neighbor called and said, oh yeah, I heard a crash
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah. No
So that pretty
kidding.
much narrowed it down. It was much easier that it wasn't in the dune.
Oh, yeah.
And what kind of plane, was it a big plane or little plane or just a little?
Piper Cub.
Something little.
1967.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So was it instrument like rated to fly at night and all that?
No idea. I know that we had only had his pilot's license for a couple of months. They were down camping, and he apparently took some other people down with him, but they came back on commercial
Good,
flights.
yeah.
And his girlfriend came back with the camper, and then he was flying.
Flying.
She was watching him, and then she saw him kind of make a turn and then disappeared, and she waited a while. She was, you know, to see if he was going to call.
That's a horrible feeling.
And then she called us and she asked us if we had any reports, and we said no, but she said, so she gave us the details, and then we started rolling everybody out.
Is it not, I don't know, I don't know if it's legal or illegal, but to be up there at night without that instrument rating?
I don't know.
Or, I
I
don't
know
know.
that
maybe
he stopped in
Legally do it,
Worcester.
but probably bad decision.
Bad move,
Well, he
yeah.
stopped in Worcester, I guess, to fuel up, and then he thought the storm was over.
Right.
Just from what we gathered.
I mean, the whole state of Ohio had thunderstorms rolling through. You know,
Well, that
big
was part of the
storm,
problem with the people that heard the noise. They thought it was part of the storm.
lightning, and- yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you guys for your
Yeah.
efforts out there and handling that quickly.
It was a group effort that everybody did a great job, and we even had the guy from Manaway, he's got a helicopter, and he brought it over, he was just dying to help us.
Yeah.
Try and find it, yeah.
And so he took the guys up and they took pictures and stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
Everybody was real helpful.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Sad, very sad. Well, thanks again. So, sir,
That's not why we're here.
on to business here. Yeah, sorry to bum everybody out, yeah, yeah. So this is the adult probation program, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And your name
My
again?
name's Nicole Walker.
Nicole. Okay. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
So I'm here today on behalf of the TCAP grant. I don't know if you want me to read this out loud or not, or just explain what we're doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
just touch on it, yeah.
Okay, so we actually, this is an extension of our grant from the last 2 fiscal years, and we want to, you know, do this grant again. We're going to be afforded the opportunity of getting $284,023 for fiscal year 20 and 21 with no local match. Basically, the state prison officials created TCAP on the belief that lower-level nonviolent felons are more effectively managed locally as opposed to sending them to prison. So we've had it the last 2 fiscal years, and that's why we're applying again.
Very good.
So mostly what it is the felony fives, they're trying to keep them out of prison, so they're shifting them back to the counties and leaving them here in the county jail instead of sending them to prison. So at least they're backing it up with some financials.
Correct, you're right.
We don't really have that many, fortunately, but we still get the money, and may come a time when we ask for that money back, but right now it's going right, comes through us and goes into the general fund.
Good, okay. Very good. Okay, I guess, do you want to read, or we can just get a motion on that, I guess? Why don't we just do that motion?
I so move.
Second?
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye. Great. Thank you very much. You
Have a good day.
have a good weekend.
Tim, I got something for you after the meeting.
Okay, great. See you. Hey, Nick,
Morning.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Item 6 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute the contract with Hoare Construction Company for the steel storage building located on the engineer's lot at the Merritt Road. We've already awarded the project, so just asking you to sign the unit price contract.
Very good. You think they're gonna get cracking here soon? or-
He's ready to go. I know he's already kind of been moved forward with his engineering, and so
Good.
we're hoping it'll,
Very
give
good.
him enough lead time to get his steel package. I know that whole business is really hot and heavy right now, so.
Yep. All right, do you wanna read that real quick?
The county engineer's office is requesting the board approve and execute the unit price contract with Ford Construction Company for the construction of a steel storage building located at 12665 Merritt Road in Clarendon Township, $297,875.66. The low one is Jim, the top one is you and Ralph, they're on separate pages. Like they put
Oh, I
one
see.
on the bottom and
The
then
low
on
one's
the-
me?
No, the low one is Jim and the top one is you and Ralph.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is the way the contract printed out.
I see.
They signed
So
Yep.
it
just so
ready.
you know.
All good. Yep.
I so move.
Second.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Item 7 is requesting that for the same project, the board accept the performance and payment bonds from Hoare Construction Company for this project and release their cashier, the certified cashier's check that they submitted as their bid
Mhm.
performance.
What company did they use? Insurance.
Liberty?
Liberty Mutual.
Liberty.
There's a performance.
Good
and
ad,
payment
right?
Yeah,
bond.
it's both performance and payment bonds on that one.
So,
All good?
Motion?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a good day. Keep dry.
Yeah. Good luck. Okay. Where are we at? Maintenance, Glenn.
Morning.
Morning.
Glenn, how are you?
Cheating you.
Not too bad. Better now that I see you.
I was graduated from Auburn Career Center.
You did?
85, yeah. Electricity and electronics. Mr. Richards back then. So
That's great.
it's
Yeah.
really grown. It's, yeah, had a lot of good stuff there. So, yeah.
Just it's on the other page.
You're at the top, so the stickies at the top. See where the one at the top?
These here?
Yes.
Okay.
That's you and the Jim, the lower ones are Jim, because they're on separate
Oh, yeah,
pages.
these up here.
Okay.
Okay,
Rick Wareham is our ground supervisor in the
Nice to
maintenance
see you.
department, so he takes care of all the grounds. and
Yep.
The summer help and seasonal help and everything else. So, right now we got a couple of projects. We got the youth center driveway, that's a concrete driveway. We want to do some patchwork out there. We got to do patchwork on the barns. So this is basically for masonry, cement, and anything, different little things that we want to get repaired and fixed up
Okay.
this year. So
this is just a generalized contract to-
Correct.
around
Service contract.
for all the different locations?
Correct.
Where we have concrete issues?
Correct.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
did I forget anything?
And you have some specific ones in mind you know you need to take care of? Okay, okay,
Yeah, youth center being one of them.
okay,
Huge cracks in the concrete.
okay,
Catching snow plows.
gotcha. So, okay. Very good.
Will we see the work scope on that? Like, they're gonna cut it out?
Yeah, just be little patches, it won't be a complete view of everything.
Right, some patchwork, yep. Okay, get a reading on that, please.
The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute the service contract agreement with Landlord Construction to perform concrete and masonry work at various Geauga County locations during the year 2019, in an amount not to exceed $30,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep, have a good day.
Yep.
All set.
Morning, Dave.
Morning. Thank you. We'll pull the chair out. Good morning.
How are you, Dave?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
So I am here this morning as a result of a lengthy process of vetting the companies that submitted proposals to us way back in February for the creation of our strategic plan for economic development. And through that process, we used the criteria established in the original RFP to narrow down the 13 companies to a field of 6, followed with finalists. And we interviewed those 6 companies here personally and narrowed it down to a final 3 in which I did some additional investigation. I called their references personally and met with Jerry and we talked it through. I made a recommendation based on what I felt were the most important needs as part of the strategic planning process, trying to boil this down. And I came up with a recommendation to negotiate a contract with Juniper Solutions, a local company. And so I'm here today requesting your permission for me to proceed with negotiating a contract with them.
Dave, you know, I 100% respect your judgment in this, but, you know, I don't know if we've been brought, you know, at least talked about alternatives to this. I mean, we're taking this right to negotiating a contract. I haven't heard from any of the other consultants. I mean, have you guys?
We had the interviews with them.
Yeah.
And then we talked with them and, you know, came down to, like we said, came down to the final 3.
Okay.
And, you know, this was kind of the cream of the 3 that
Okay.
was at the top. So it was a process of coming back to you guys with this proposal to begin the negotiations with this contract. So it was, rather than going and having all 3 of you sit through the 13 or go through the
Yeah.
13.
No, I agree with that. I mean, to narrow that down, but
Yeah.
Have them look at it.
but to bring us a couple to consider, right?
Okay, I mean, we can do that.
I mean-
My understanding.
I mean,
is you're looking
I'm
for us to
okay
come
with
back
your
to with
guys'
the proposal of
like I said,
what we
if-
want to do.
who you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
but,
Again, we looked this very carefully. And
Yeah.
just to kind of go through, maybe I didn't explain it.
yeah, well, I haven't been explained about anything.
Yeah, okay, so,
Yeah.
in the original RFP, there was specific criteria for ranking the proposals once they were received. And that's how I narrowed the field down from 13. And like I said
Right.
earlier, I was gratified, we got 13 proposals, all good companies, right? And I used that criteria to narrow the field down, because I felt like interviewing 13 companies would be very, very difficult.
Right.
And so we narrowed it down to 5, eventually it became 6. And those 6 companies came in, met with myself, with Jerry, Jessica, and one other person. And we gave them the opportunity to explain their experience, prior plans that they had
Mhm.
done for comparable communities, whether they be cities, counties, whatever. And as a result of that, we were able to narrow it down to 2 finalists.
Okay.
And then I went out and I talked to the people who they had actually worked for, who they had created plans for. And I got very comfortable, actually, I was very comfortable with the final 3,
Okay.
to tell you the truth.
And like
So
I
it
said, I'm
became
100%
very
behind your
difficult.
judgment, both, you know, in this. I'm just saying, my understanding was we were gonna be, not, and, you know, I don't need to micromanage this decision, but at least aware of where, you know,
Mhm.
these, maybe 2 or 3 finalists. And
Yeah.
then, here's the reason why, is because, again, you know, with this comprehensive plan, and the planning commission, I know these are on different
Yeah.
orbits right now, but, you know, I do think it's important that whoever we choose be able to mesh with this plan, you know, and I agree with 100% what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Let's get the economic development plan done first. I think that's
Yeah.
the way to do it, you know.
Let's get started.
And I don't think you know, because that plan's gonna take a year or more, or 2 years, or I don't know, maybe even it'd be longer, I don't know.
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
agree on that.
Yeah.
And I will
Yeah.
tell you that.
But that's just
without-
because here's the thing, I don't wanna, think I can speak for all of us, that we don't want to spend a ton of money on two different plans.
Right.
And these things are totally, one saying this, one saying that, and then they're not.
Yeah, and we did have
Yeah.
those discussions in the interviews with the companies about
Okay.
that process, and including in when they had the interviews earlier this week, and I was sat in on those with with planning, and there was that discussion about making sure we're gonna be meshing these together so that they both understand that there's different parties that do this.
Gotcha.
And they're-
There is actually, from Juniper, two of the people that are on the Juniper team were on one of the teams that's being,
Oh, good.
that's
Okay.
being referred to over there,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
And that discussion actually was had with them in there about, the possible cost savings of having that there and,
Okay.
things
There'd be no
happening.
duplication of services.
Right.
You know,
And so, just to go back again, some of the real strengths of the company that I'm recommending is their real estate development experience, over $4.5 billion in real estate development experience.
Mm-hmm.
Infrastructure assessment experience, key component of our plan, right?
Right.
Incentives, tax credits, and so on. Very experienced in offering and negotiating tax incentives with companies at a municipal level. Another strength, team diversification, and that's what Jerry's talking about. They're bringing in what they call sub-consultants. One of the sub-consultants is an expert in site selection and land use,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and zoning. And that dovetailed perfectly into the plan.
Yeah,
That
and that's
we're
what-
all very concerned about making sure we're not doing this and having duplication.
And that's what, I want to
This
make
group-
sure that you and this,
Yes.
whoever you choose, collaborate
Right.
with planning, right?
We
Isn't
did,
that-
we were
okay,
there,
okay,
we were there, we
okay.
interviewed.
Good.
Now, that decision
Yeah.
is gonna come to you guys,
Right,
right?
right.
But we said our piece, as
Right.
part of it, and Charlie's ready to narrow that down as well.
Good.
That's his decision, that's not ours. So,
I mean, it's funny, you're just bringing this up. Jerry and I just had a meeting yesterday, on a more specific location in Geauga County and running into these exact same challenges
Yeah.
about, a lot of, we've got the cart before the horse on different properties that want some economic development, and we're gonna have to,
And again, the
make some
companies,
changes,
the
yeah.
the finalists, in our opinion, are all capable of doing the plan.
Yeah.
That's clear. But these key factors make this company rise to the top. And one of those key factors is that group that overlaps with the planning group. So hopefully we can make that
okay.
happen.
No, that's good.
If you follow.
I'm comfortable
I mean,
with that.
Anybody,
Yeah.
we can make that happen with any of them, but
Yeah.
this company is, widely respected locally, at the state level. They're tied in with Team Neo, Jobs Ohio, they're site selectors. So they've got great experience across the
Yeah.
entire spectrum of what we call economic development.
Well, I appreciate your effort in getting this fast-tracked and getting it done. I know this is not easy, especially narrowing down 13 different, I think.
And they all have calendars. Sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but that's a good point. They all have calendars, and I want to get on their
Yeah.
calendar so I don't get this thing pushed off into 2020.
I think from my perspective, and like I said, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not
No,
trying
no,
to
yeah.
get in your shorts here at all, but I'm just saying, from my perspective, and I respect 110% your judgment, both in everyone that's picking, I just wasn't up to speed, I guess, maybe on how this was coming along, so, I just, we've got it narrowed down to one.
Well, I apologize for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I appreciate it, actually, so, if you guys are comfortable with it, and, I don't know if you've had time to review this
Yes,
or
I
not.
have.
Yeah, okay. I must have missed the memo or the email or not been a part of it, but, so.
We'll definitely make it part of it once we
Yeah,
get going.
yeah. Very good. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we'll circle back with you. You're gonna sit down with Juniper and negotiate, you'll come back to us with
Come back
a
with
proposal then?
recommendation for a contract.
Okay,
correct.
okay.
We'll
I'd like to make a
provide those
motion.
Intermittent
To number nine.
proposals to you also.
Okay, thanks.
Commissioner DeWark,
Yes.
Commissioner Spudler,
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
And then
The
number
next thing
10?
is, I want to ask to move into executive session for the purpose of discussing employment and compensation for public employees in the building department.
Okay. Okay, we get a motion to move into executive session?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes. And, so it'll be Jerry, you?
Yeah.
Us three, anyone else?
No.
No?
Other than Kathy, but she's not.
Okay,
as far as-
all right. Be right back. Okay, we're back from executive session at 10:39. And,
No action.
no action, okay, okay. Okay, and so we'll move to agenda number 11. Jerry, if you want
Yeah,
to,
this is the contract between the commissioners, the prosecutors, and Benish Law Firm regarding help on the new buildings on the legal side.
okay.
This is just asking for the commissioners to sign the
Yeah,
contract.
there, and these guys, this will be helping obviously with some legal services outside the scope of the prosecutor's office, but also to support the architect firm. And then also we can start talking about delivery methods.
Correct, because we, yeah, so we
And-
can have, and the financing.
And the
and everything else.
financing,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Very good, okay, if you want to read 11, please?
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the engagement agreement with terms and conditions with Benesch, Friedlander, Copeland, and Arnoff LLP for legal counsel in connection with the provision of legal services to support the design, construction, and delivery of the proposed capital improvement project Phase 1 in an amount not to exceed $100,000 without prior approval from the Board.
I so move.
Second.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So some acknowledgements, meetings, so we'll have regular session next week.
The CDBG hearing?
Yep, CDBG hearings. Move forward with that. Planning Commission, that won't be till the 11th.
Yeah, the 11th was.
Busy day.
Busy day.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
Commissioner Blipka from Trumbull is requesting to set up a meeting. The application deadline is this Friday, and he wants to look at setting up a meeting either next week or the following week. Advised him that Mr. Dvorak was on vacation, that Ralph has been in and out, and that the 11th, with everything else that's going on, would probably not be.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long day.
So I didn't know if you guys wanted to take a look at maybe the 13th. I know, Ralph, you're gonna be in and out trying to get
Yeah,
that
what
stuff
about
done.
the 10th?
That was the other option, was Monday the 10th. I didn't know if
I'm here.
you're good with the 10th?
I'm good with the 10th.
Are you able to do Monday the 10th, Tim?
And this is for what with them?
This is to actually review the resumes and applications for the director position. The deadline for those to be received is this Friday. And so once they are received, you guys will be receiving copies of all of them for review.
Mhm.
And then he wants to go over them. He wants a
Okay.
meeting to go over them, to look at maybe setting up interviews from the ones that were submitted.
What time on the 10th?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
That's what we're asking for.
It would probably be, if we could do something like, late morning, I could maybe do the 10th. Early morning, I have a couple things going on.
So throw a time at me.
Whatever's easiest for
Yeah,
you, I could do
like-
whatever.
Like, 10:30,
Yeah.
11, something like that.
Yep.
Even 1 o'clock, if that works for you guys.
You want to do it after lunch?
Yeah.
If 11
Okay.
would be a little bit easier for me, but I mean,
Okay.
that's, if.
11's
Can you
good
do
for me.
11?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
11?
so let's
Okay.
do 11.
All right, I will send that back to Lisa then. And also, he was going to get in touch with Mr. O'Brien to find out about the status on the design plan.
Yeah, they should be getting back to us here, I thought, the first of the month.
I inquired about the lease, and she's waiting to hear back from Mr. Hartzell. There was supposed to be an informational plan that was supposed to be written up at the prosecutor's office.
Yeah, and I think they got that,
Wait.
didn't they?
I talked to Tom last week or the
Yeah.
week before about what was expected to be in it, but I
Okay.
hadn't seen anything.
I think
back,
he
so
left me a
maybe-
voicemail the other day saying he forwarded that back
Okay.
to somebody. I don't know if it was you or to maybe the prosecutor's office. I don't know. I'll find out. Yeah.
You may have sent
So
it,
she
you
was
may have
gonna
sent
check
it to
with-
Greg O'Brien too.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Somebody down there to see if they had received it back yet, but, so she was gonna let me know if it manages to find its way to her, so.
Very good.
Just to kind of keep you guys up to date on what she had sent me yesterday, so.
How are we doing on board positions?
I had sent that advertisement to all of you. I did not hear back from any of you on the mental health ad
Okay.
to see if you wanted to get it posted on.
Oh, we
the
didn't post
website.
it yet?
I didn't hear anything from any of you.
Oh.
I was waiting for a response.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Um,
I would say go ahead and post that,
Okay.
you know, right?
Yep.
And then
um,
use the previous press release that we had done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what about the library? Did you hear anything back from the
I
library?
have not heard anything back.
Okay, so I would say, you know, we start thinking, you know, I don't know, Jim, if you have any suggestions and, you know, if you know anyone, Ralph, and
Right.
I'll put my thinking cap on, let's start, put some candidates together for that. That's a 7-year
7-year term.
term, so, you know. And then, I think the airport, are we squared there too?
I think the airport, we just put,
Yes,
Yeah.
put that on, I think we're good there.
yes.
And mental health, we've got 3 positions coming up again.
Correct.
Yeah.
End of June, so I will send that to them today.
And, you know, we need to really, we need to really look at that, you know, get some accountable, you know, people there, because, some of the things that I'm hearing on that mental health,
Mm-hmm.
decision-making and contracts and all this other stuff, I mean, I think that we need to have a good set of responsible eyes on some of that stuff that's happening there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, you know, I would say, let's get that advertisement out, and then, you know, amongst ourselves, if there's people that you can talk to.
Yep. And the library one also, we need to definitely look at that, and it's a long term, so.
Yeah. All right, Jerry, I know you got to roll.
Okay.
Okay. So, other than that, any questions, comments? No?
Oh, I have a question.
Yep,
When you
sure.
talk about the Trumbull County, is that for the recycling center?
Yes.
On Merritt Road?
Solid waste, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Very good.